What are we doing? This is so weird. Pop. I don't know if you guys heard that big pop in my hip. And take both legs to the right and let them fall. Pop. Feel that buzzing? How cool is that? Hi, welcome. Today's a 60-minute class to diminish stress. Let's start together in a seated position, and you can sit in a chair for this, or you can sit on the floor or on props. You can use a block, or you can use a blanket. But find a way that you can sit so comfortably that you won't notice any aches or pains, and you can sit for a little while. And when you finally get your seat, sit tall and sit in such a way that you can feel confident and relaxed. As we begin the practice, I'd like to offer an invocation that may we create strength in one another through this practice. May our study together be enlightening and fruitful. So let's begin by noticing your breath. There's nothing you have to do to change the way you're breathing. It's better to just notice rather than try to fix right away. And you can sit like this with your eyes closed or with your eyes softly gazing down, maybe at a point around an arm's length away from you. But the focus is relaxed. There is nothing that has to happen for this to work. The fact that you arrive to this practice is enough. You are taking time to go inside. Inside, actually, where it's full of possibilities. And there is beauty and love inside of you. A place to rest, a place of peace. And so you're choosing that. So by sitting down with yourself, by being a good host to yourself, that's all that you need to do. And the rest will just come. The rest will just be an experience of diminished stress. So allow your breath to be natural. It will change all on its own. There's nothing you need to control. Isn't that a relief? You might want to start to bring your mind quieter. And the way to do that is maybe to follow the sensations of your breathing. So you might want to notice that the air is cool to the touch as it goes in through your nose. And you're just simply noticing just the air that's moving through your nose. You're noticing that you're breathing, not how you're breathing. And you can also take note of the exhale through the nose, and that the exhale is a warm touch of air. That warmth comes from you. There is a warmth inside of you. It's always inside of you. And I'm not just talking temperature. There's this warm, welcoming place that's inside of you that has nothing to do with the demands and the pressures of the outside world or of the negative psychology that we carry. You're inhaling this cool, fresh, new air, and you're offering your warmth out. So breathing in, feeling that you're fresh and new, even in this moment, constantly renewing, constantly arriving in this moment, not in that future moment that's full of anxiety, but this moment right here, the moment that you came here for. Breathing in cool, fresh, and new, and exhaling warm, exhaling out, offering out. And there's no part of this receiving and offering that needs to stay stuck. You neither need to grasp on that which you are receiving in fear that it'll go away. And you don't need to cling on to offering your own release, offering your own letting go. The world can handle it, and the universe can handle you letting go of that which you don't need anymore. It is an offering in its own way. It will be transformed. Your spine is long. Your spine is so tall that it's allowing for energy to move so smoothly up and down the spine. Nothing is stuck. Your breath is flowing in and out. In and out. This beautiful breath. The breath that brings you peace. Deep breathing brings peace. It brings presence. And those two things combined can relieve stress. So on your own now, for a couple of moments, just notice that you're breathing. Notice the sensations of your breath. Try not to cling on to anything. Try not to analyze anything. That's going to be all for later, right? Right now you're just sitting and noticing that you're breathing. Yes, thoughts will come in. Yes, the mind won't stop. That's the nature of mind, and that's okay. But you can decide what you want to pay attention to. And my wish for you in this practice is that you begin to pay more attention to your heart, to what's inside, to that place inside you that is always at peace. There is a place inside you that is always at peace, that cannot be disturbed, it cannot be changed. That peace cannot end, it cannot go away. It is always, always there. And this process of yoga, this process of paying attention, of yoking your attention to that. Just allows you to reclaim it. It allows you to yoke with it, to attach to it. Never went away. You just turned your attention away. And now we're bringing your attention back to that. And so the practice, it can help to move, because moving the body helps to keep the mind moving. It helps to keep those thoughts just passing on by like clouds instead of staying stuck. So let's begin by moving the head and to release some pressure in the neck. And so I'll invite you to start moving your head in circles really slowly. We can start looking down. Maybe bringing your head to your right. And then slowly tilting the head back, looking at the ceiling, allowing it to stretch. And then over to your left. And then back around forward. And again, these are slow circles. The predominant attention right now is on your breath. So can you still make these circles while you're feeling the cool, fresh inhale? And you're offering out your warmth on your exhale. You might hear those creaks and grinding and all the noises in there, and that's okay. That's okay. The more you move, the more you'll release that. Good. And when you come back to center, take a pause and start moving those circles in the other direction. So that's left ear to left shoulder. And then we're tilting the head back to look up at the ceiling. And then towards the right shoulder. And then around towards the floor. And in this direction, at your own pace. And in such a way that you can still connect to your breath. Your spine is still tall, allowing for that flow of energy. And it may happen naturally that, maybe your torso starts to move, or your shoulders move a little bit. That's totally okay. Your body is full of intelligence. You just join with that intelligence, you'll find freedom a little quicker. Let's take one more circle. Coming to sit tall again, the posture's tall. And take your head and move your head back over your shoulders. And then try to free your throat. You don't want to compress the throat. In fact, why don't you try that now? Push your head back and compress your throat. Boy, that feels kind of stressful, doesn't it? It feels very locked in and stiff. That's kind of what we do as humans. We lock in. Get this tunnel vision and we lock into the things that we have to do, right? And that creates so much stress. That creates that energy of being stuck. We're going to unstick it. So relax the neck again, lift the spine tall, pull your belly in for some personal power, and let your head get tall, float above your shoulders, and then it's just resting back. But the chin is not compressing in the throat. It's level with the ground. I sometimes feel very dignified when I sit this way. I feel confident. And although not all the time do I feel this way, not all the time do I feel this, sophistication or nobility, right? It's not an arrogance. I just feel so much better when I sit this way. Not all the time. A lot of times I do slouch. A lot of times I do look down, But let's do it together right now. Right now we're trying to create strength in one another. So together, we'll lengthen the neck, chin is level with the floor. Your ears are back over your shoulder, you're pulling your belly in, you're lifting your spine. There we go. Isn't that better? Good. And let's take some circles with the spine. So we're going to do a couple of movements. We're first going to move to the right, so shift your spine to the right, and then push your spine backwards. You're rounding now. You'll feel the pelvis tilt, let your chin come down. Shift over to the left. And then we're going to shift the chest forward. That's going to make our back bend. Head up. And again. Now we're rolling the spine backwards to the side, all the way straight back, and then to the left. We're pressing the chest out. Right? So make this movement your own signature. Right? Whatever your shoulders and your hips want to do. It doesn't have to do what I'm doing. It has to want to do what your body's doing, right? Do what your body wants to do. Let your body lead you. I do understand profoundly that sometimes we are afraid of our own bodies. That it's possible that bad things happen to our bodies, right? But I'm with you, and I invite you to try to trust what your body knows. Try to trust that healing power inside of you. Just roll with it. It's nothing you have to control, and you can stop whenever you want. You can stop, sit tall, and breathe again. Okay, change directions. Take it to the left. Roll your spine backwards. Take it to the right. Chest forward. Eyes up. Okay, so we're involving the neck in all this. Just moving. Yeah, and take your deep breaths, bringing in that new, fresh, clean air. That new, fresh, clean moment. That new, clean, fresh perspective. And exhale out that warm offering. Exhale out that which you don't need. And keep moving. Okay, very good. I'm going to make this movement a little bigger. Let's take the right hand on the chair or on your thigh or on the floor, wherever it gives you some support. We'll take that left arm, reaching your left arm up to sky. See if you can follow the hand with the eyes and reach up. Now take your elbow, your right elbow, and see if you can just drop that right shoulder. Then we're going to continue going towards the right. Continue reaching. Now try to relax both shoulders. I know that's a little difficult, but try to relax both shoulders. Lengthen your spine, get tall. Now I'm going to ask you to extend your wrist so that it feels like your palm is pushing against a wall. And really lengthen here. You're going to feel that fascia on the left side of your body from the hip all the way to the wrist. You might feel some tingling, and that's okay. Maybe your head wants to look down at the floor. That's fine. Honor your body. Breathe deep. And exhale, reach up to the ceiling, straighten out. Both arms up to the ceiling. Nice big stretch. And now it's the left hand down in a place where it can support you. The right hand bends over towards the left. And then extend that wrist so that it feels like you're pushing against something. I'm going to rotate the chest towards the front. And side bend to wherever's comfortable for you. This may be different than it was yesterday. It's going to look a lot different than mine. All right, that's okay. Breathe deeply. Breathing in new, fresh moment. A moment that's empty and full of possibility. You can create it how you want. You're exhaling. Your exhale is a relief that you don't have to hold on to anything. Come all the way up, arms reach up to the sky. Let's take those fingers, interlace them. Then we're going to try to press both wrists up. Pull your belly in, lengthen your neck. Try to release tension from your neck. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Lovely. Now, if you were sitting in a chair, I'm going to ask you to come up out of the chair, and we'll all come to standing together. Standing. Now, this may sound silly, but it needs to be said. You are standing here because you arrived. You arrived with an intention to have self-care. You're not standing in front of your boss. You're not standing in front of a difficult person. You're not standing in front of your deadlines. You're standing here in the intention of self-care. So your feet are parallel. They're about hip width apart. Try to spread your toes if you can, lifting the spine tall. The head moves back. Nice space, free throat here. We're free to look around. We're free to talk, right? Fingers press down towards the floor as you stand tall. Squeeze your thighs a little bit. Pull up the deep inside muscles. Pull them up. Good. And here you are arriving again in that feeling of dignity, that feeling of nobility, that feeling of confidence. Breathe deep. Inhale. Exhale. Like a big sigh. A sigh in your own way. Again, inhale. Exhale, sigh. Let's reach the arms out to the side. Really reach as far as you can. Stretch the chest. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Inhale. Exhale, let's send that prayer down to the heart. Again, rotating the palms to the ceiling. Stretch all the way up. Stretch your body. Palms come down right to the heart. Seal in that self-care. Arms reach out and up, inhale, and exhale. Now we're going to try something that maybe you haven't tried before, but stress stays locked in the body, and we need to move it out, and sometimes we need to shake it out. You know, there's an expression that when someone falls, they say, hey, shake it off. You know, there's a part of that that's actually quite true. Another part of it that can be a little bit mean, but you know, there's a part of that's quite true, which is to shake it off. So if you've ever seen a dog or an animal who suddenly gets startled, they freeze. That's us getting stuck, right? They're mentally stuck. They freeze. And if your dog or your cat or you see an animal, you might notice that they suddenly shiver their skin. They shiver their skin. And then they're back to normal and they're just having their day, right? That's a really good biological response for us. It is scientifically proven, lots of research on this. So we're going to shake a little bit. And maybe you can think of it as a dance. We're just going to start maybe just bouncing on your heels. A lot of traditions do this. You know, they do this in Tai Chi and Qigong and yoga, right? Kids do this all the time. I mean, kids doing this all the time, right? You see kids doing this, right? They know. It's this natural technique that comes with you when you're born. Babies love to be shaked. Well, not shaked, hold on, rocked. Right? So we're shaking, we're bouncing, and then you can make this as big as you want. Right? So I add a little effort. I try to add a little effort. Sometimes I'll just focus on my legs. Right? I'll shake my arms, but we're going to bounce and shake together. If you want, you can think of it as dancing. Right? Let yourself be a little silly. We don't need all that stress to make us so serious. We don't need all that stress to take away our joy, right? Because we're rediscovering that in this process together. We're reclaiming that peace. It's there. We're trying to get rid of all the dust, all the dirt. We're digging it out, right? We're going to discover it like a treasure. Uncover it like a treasure. Shake, 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 shake. All right, for these last couple of seconds, give it a super vigorous shake. Even more, as much as you can. What are we doing? This is so weird. Okay, start to slow it down. Slow it down. You're going to go right into that beautiful, fresh and warm breath. As you come to stop, lift your spine tall, head back, breathe. Feel that buzzing? How cool is that? Okay, that's that energy getting moved out of you. Okay, that's why we move. Let's move a little bit bigger. So, just gonna move side to side. Have you seen kids do this? They do it kind of like bored. Well, we're gonna do it in self-care. And so start to twist. Allow your arms to just kind of go for the ride. And then we're gonna change it up a little bit. We're gonna purposefully, as the front arm comes, we're gonna pound our chest a little bit. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Just pound that chest a little bit, light taps. And then the back arm, and I'll show you, the back arm is going to touch around your kidney area. So as you're, right, so we're kind of doing two opposite spots. Okay, and let that happen. So we're just tapping on some meridian points here. You know that the kidneys, the adrenals sit right on top of the kidneys. Kind of just knocking them, giving them a little stir, shaking the crust off of them, right? Good. And then we're going to take this knocking and we're going to do it kind of all over the body. So the arms reach out and we're going to take our knuckles and we're going to just a nice slight tapping up the inside of the arm and across, down the other arm, up the inside of the arm and across. And now tap, I've got a mic here, but with two hands you're going to tap on your chest. All right, then we're going to take the knuckles, we're going to tap down the sides of the abdomen, tap the front of your hips, tap the thighs, tap, tap, tap. Let's bend over, tapping the legs. Now take that tap to the back of the thighs, all the way up your butt. Start knocking on those kidneys. Come back around, tap, tap, tap. Down the left arm, up the left arm, across the chest, down the right arm, up the right arm, on the chest. Okay, down the belly, down the thighs, down the shins, up the calves, up the hamstrings, up your butt, up your butt, all right? And then right there on those kidneys, come back around. Let's finish with some more tapping on the chest. Taking two hands, it's a light touch, we're just tapping on the chest. Let's take those fingertips, we're just going to tap on the, right above the eyebrows. Several times, light little taps. Tap very lightly on your temples, very, very lightly. Tap very lightly on your upper lip, right in that spot between the nose and the lip. Tap, tap, tap on your chin. One more time, tap on the chest. Come to standing in mountain pose. Super tall, lengthen, feel your dignity, and just notice. Did you hear that message that just came up? some positive message just came up for you, turn that into something real. Perhaps you can say to yourself, I am capable, or I can handle what comes to me. I am successful. I am more than these deadlines. I am more than this pressure. I am more than the thoughts. Whatever you want to say, let's try to say it now together. Good, reaching the arms up to sky, inhale. And exhale, very good. Now we're going to come down to the floor, and we're going to come down to the knees. So you can use a blanket for your knees. Good. Okay, so I'm just going to grab this hair tie. This hair is crazy. All right, coming down to the knees in the tabletop position. Okay, and point the toes if that works for you. Make sure that your wrists are directly under your shoulders. We'll do a few cat-cows here. So back bend, so lift the tail up, let the abdomen sink. Let your chest move between your arms, shoulder blades come together. And you can look up just a little bit. We don't want to kink the neck too much. That's an inhale. On the exhale, do the opposite. Lead with your belly, so pull your belly in, tailbone tucks under, and your shoulders puff apart, and your head looks down. And back and forth like this. So we're going from back bending to forward bending. So curling and extending. Honor your body. Don't push too much into the lumbar. Wherever your body wants to go. This is believe it or not, we can use this as a pranayama. We can use it as a breathing technique. So you're inhaling as you're coming into this cow pose. Exhaling as you're coming into cat. Good. Now open your knees wider, okay? And the hands maybe slightly forward. And just like we did in our seated position when we rotated the spine in circles, we're going to do it here. So take your spine to the right. Lean all the way to the right. And then send it back towards the right. And then back center. And then to the left. And then all the way to the left. Start coming up. Send it forward. Back bend. And then again to the right. You're making big circles in an expression that your body wants to make. I will offer a suggestion of seeing if you can have your joints as unlocked and loose as possible, just to see what they might want to do. Remember, your attention is on your intention. Your intention was for self-care and to feel better. So your attention is to that. How can you make this movement work to make you feel better? Well, it probably starts with being less stiff and less rigid. Okay, do this one more time. And the next time you're straight back, it'll feel like a child's pose. Stay there for a moment. Let your head be so heavy to the floor. Roll yourself up. Now we're going to take this circles in the other way. So go left first, go all the way to the left, and then take it back, and then swing over to the right. And then as you come through, maybe you can back bend a little bit. So we're really rounding on this back half of the circle, and then we're trying to come up into a little back bend on that front half of the circle. There we go. Keep going round and round like this. If you'd like to yoke your breath, it's an exhale as you go back, and an inhale as you come forward. A couple more. Remember, you're here to relieve stress, so loosen up. Let yourself be loose. This is your expression. Next time you come all the way back, sit back again into child's pose. Come all the way up on your knees. And we're going to come to bring one leg forward. In this case, I'll bring my left leg forward. Now, if you need something to help you with your balance, you could get up and bring a chair over, or maybe there's something you can hold on to. Otherwise, we can try to gain some, muscular strength to help us balance. Another way to balance is to curl the back toes on the floor, if that works for you. We're going to address the psoas muscle. The psoas muscle connects your upper spine to your thighs, and it's responsible for flexing you forward. It's responsible also for that subconscious curling in when you're afraid or curling in when you're stressed. And although you may not actually curl completely in when you're sitting in front of your boss or a deadline, but the initiation of that kind of movement does occur. And you might feel that as, a compression in your abdomen. You might feel it as a stomach ache all the time. You might have a neck ache because you're coming forward, right? You might feel grief here. You might feel tightness here. There's just so many ways it can manifest. And it doesn't really matter that you know all of that. What matters is that you arrived here today to take care of it. So we're going to try to open this up. So in order to do that, you're going to take your tailbone, you're going to tuck it under, and then take that left hip and make sure you drop it down, that it's even with the other hip. So we're level hips and we're tucked under. There's a slight activation in your abdomen here. You can feel the support of your abdomen. Deep inner muscles pulling up. Long spine, head is back over the shoulders. Lots of cues, but I want you to try to feel what I'm talking about. You're so dignified here. We're not collapsed. We're certainly not collapsed forward. All right, we're still dignified. All right, still feeling that nobility that's in you. That's in you because you're human. It's in you because you were born with it. And it can never be taken from you. It might be obscured, but that's what we're doing. We're clearing that dust to reveal that treasure, right? So here we are. We're here. We're going to take that right arm. This is the arm that's opposite the front leg. And we're going to bring that arm up to sky. Inhale. Reach that sky as much as you can. Maybe a slight back bend. And feel that stretch on that right side from your thigh all the way up to your ribs. Inhale here and exhale here. We're breathing and we're holding. 2 more deep breaths in like this. See what you can relax. Can you relax your eyes? Can you relax your breathing? Good. Inhale again. And on your exhale, take your right arm, cross it over the left leg and reach towards the pinky toe. Let your back round. Inhale, come all the way up again. This time back bend a little bit more if you can. And we'll do that back and forth. So curling over at a diagonal towards that left pinky. And we reach up and back. Inhale, inhale. Exhale, round it over. Inhale, reaching up. Inhale, and exhale, rounding forward. And inhale, reaching up. One more time. And reaching up again. Hold this one reaching up. Hold it reaching up. Good. Now extend your wrists. It seems like you're holding a tray. And I want you to push that tray up. Imagine you're offering that tray up to the heavens. Good. Now staying like this, keep pushing up. Now just side bend to the left. So you're actually up and left. You're up and over. Good. And breathing. This could feel pretty intense, but you have a sense of peace inside of you that you can access. So you can access that now through your deep breathing. Relax your face. And maybe let yourself know that it feels good to stretch in this way. Nothing wrong with doing this for yourself. Excellent. Bring the arm down. We'll send that leg back and we'll switch legs. So now it's that right leg coming forward. We move gently, not aggressive with our own body, moving gently. So you're sitting right on top of that left knee. You're stacked on top of that left knee. And remember, that right hip is going to come down, and then we're going to send the tailbone under, belly in. So right hip goes down, belly in, tailbone under, right hip down. We have our dignified posture, our head is floating, we're free here in the throat, and you're holding on to something, or you're holding on to your own leg. But reach the left arm up as super high as you can get. Lift it up and just hold it. Relax both shoulders, belly in. Maybe you're lifting up your eyes, right? Lift up your eyes. This is the lifting up to your potential, to your possibility, to yoking, to something that motivates you or some being that you connect to, right? Reaching up and out of this worldly business into this world of, possibility. That's it. Reaching all the way up. Let's feel that stretch on the left side. Good. Breathing deeply, relax the shoulders. And the next time we exhale, we're going to take it forward over to the right pinky. So we're rounding over to the right pinky toe and stretch your back a little bit. And then reverse, come back up. Now just back bend even more than you did before. Stretch. And again, exhale as you come forward. Inhale to reach back, deep breaths. All this deep breathing is going to help you release some stress. Roll it forward. Inhale. You got it. Exhale. Try not to analyze what's happening. Let yourself be free of that right now. That's why you came here. Inhale. Exhale. On this next time we come up, we're going to stay up. Good. Now extend the wrist. Pretend you're holding a tray and press it up to the heavens. Push it up. And then side bend to the right. And feel this wonderful stretch. These muscles that are asking you so much to give them relief. Deep breath in and a slow breath out. Excellent. Good. And let's come on down. We're actually going to roll onto the back. So see if there's a way that you can lie down on your back. Maybe move some things out of the way. And when you arrive on your back, you're arriving with your knees bent and your feet on the floor. Here we go. Ah, yes. So we concentrated on our breathing. We allowed our breathing to remind us that every breath is an opportunity to renew, that fresh, new energy coming in. We remembered that we have much to offer the world, including, some of that negative stuff. We just let it out and the world will take care of it. We loosened up our neck. We loosened up our spine, our thoracic spine. And then we worked on that midsection. And so now we're going to move down to the inner thighs and the hips area. So you've seen windshield wipers in the car, and that's what we're going to do with our legs. Arms are out to the side, and then separate your feet wide. And then take both legs to the right and let them fall. Pop. Let them fall. And then let them go to the left, right? I don't know if you guys heard that big pop in my hip. But that is why we do the practice. That is why we move, right? These things are stiff and stuck. You need to get them out. So back and forth like this. And you'll notice that when you get over far enough that you'll feel that nice stretch in the hip, maybe down the thigh, maybe you'll feel it in your buttocks, but back and forth like this. Let this happen naturally. There we go. Now a little bit more with this kind of side to side. So make a figure 4 shape. So your right leg will come over and the ankle will meet the left thigh. If you can, just make it some kind of shape like that where you can handle it. And, take that space. If you have a space that's between your back and the floor, we're just going to activate the abdominals and pull those in and tilt the pelvis just so we can have some support in the pelvis. And now we're going to take that left leg, if you can. If this is already a stretch in your right hip, then leave your left leg down. If you need a little more, then pull your left leg up until you feel a stretch in the right hip. Good. And then this might be a little strange, but let's see if you can try it. Take your left leg and move it to the left. So both legs are going to the left. They're staying stuck in this position, but they're going to the left. And set your left foot down somewhere towards the left. And hopefully you're still feeling a stretch. Maybe bring your knee in closer. And then make any adjustments. So I find that sometimes holding my left leg up with my hands, I see, students with their shoulders up, their neck is up, and it just becomes a more stress, and that's not what we want. So I'm trying to find a position where you can just kind of make a kickstand with your left leg, your right leg just rests there, and then you don't have to do much work. It's a nice passive stretch. Deep breath in, and a slow breath out. It's so wonderful that you arrived today to do your practice. Like I said in the beginning, intention is everything. And just by showing up, the universe is going to hear that intention. And it's going to help create things to manifest that the deepest desire. Your deepest desire is to be at peace. And so by showing up, you're taking action. And that's a calling. One of my teachers says that the highest form of prayer is action. I like that. Here's your action. Deep breath in and a slow breath out. Walk that left leg back to center and lift it up off the floor. And now locate the sole of your right foot. That's the foot that's up. And we're going to take this sole of the right foot, we're going to turn it to the left, and we're going to stamp it on the ground here. Keep the figure 4 in your legs. Stamp your right foot on the floor to the left. You might need to peek up at me to see what's happening. And then keeping your back where it is, see if you can let your hips settle. This is a slightly different hip stretch than normal. I think it feels glorious. If your leg is trying to escape and get away, you can try to just hold it with your hand. You can hold your ankle with your hand, and that allows it to just relax and stretch a little more. Deep breath in, and a slow breath out. Now what happens when we stop and rest, or we stop moving, or we stop ruminating, or thinking, or plotting, or planning, worrying, whenever we stop, the mind says, oh, now there's an opportunity for me to do more thinking and more ruminating. The mind wants to take over when we rest. But don't allow that to happen right now. Your mind keeps calling for your attention, doesn't it? It keeps knocking at your door, it keeps tugging at your shirt, it wants your attention. It doesn't need your attention. What needs your attention is your heart. So take a deep breath in and a slow breath out and let yourself feel at ease. It's already in you. Let those worries go. They'll be there later. Pay attention to your heart. Your heart is calling for you. Okie dokie. Pull your belly in to lift your legs. Up we go. We'll do the same thing on the other side, but first just stretch that right leg to the ceiling. Oh, there we go. And then we'll switch legs. So now it's left ankle onto right knee. We'll discover first how this feels. If it feels fine here and you're getting some stretch sensation in the left hip, then stay. If not, you can lift your right leg, keep the legs in this shape, and set your right leg over to the right a little bit more like a kickstand so that your left leg can just relax. And again, deep breathing here. Don't let yourself get stuck in the pose, and by that I mean mentally. Don't lock into a pose and what it looks like or what it should feel like or how are you performing in it. When you lock in, you create stress because that's what stress is. Stress is being locked in with no way out, right? But that's not yoga. Yoga is completely and all about keeping the flow, keeping energy moving. So that's what you're doing here. You're just allowing this shape of your body to be a temporary experience while your attention is on your heart. You're a traveler and you're seeking to reunite with your peace. You're reclaiming your sense of well-being. It's never left. It's always there. You're just reclaiming it. Notice how good this feels. Okay, now let's try the twist. So bring your right leg back in line into the center. Locate the sole of your left foot. I need to touch it to kind of get the brain over there. And keeping the configuration of your legs, just lift up the right foot to allow for movement. And now, keeping the legs this way, you're twisting your legs to the right, and the sole of your left foot will stamp onto the floor on the right. You might need to hold it with your hand, that's okay. And now we have a big stretch. I mean, I can feel this stretch from my armpit all the way to my hip, and really deep inside the hip. This is not a position I'm ever in out off the mat. The arms open wide and twisted, so it's nice to be here. And it's nice to feel, wow, my body can move in all these different shapes. And when I try these different shapes, I experience different feelings. And that's important, to know that you're more than the deadline, more than the fight you had, more than anything that causes you stress. There are possibilities. Breathing in deeply, exhaling, and release, enjoying this. See if you can relax all the muscles around your body, especially around the groin. I remember early in my days when I was dealing with severe post-traumatic stress disorder, I would come into these postures and I would literally feel nauseous at some of them because there was so much energy stored in there, so much locked, emotion, that it would actually make me feel nauseous. And sometimes I had to just get out of that posture, because you can only handle what you can handle. And sometimes I was able to breathe through it and hold and steady, calm. And that's all to say that whatever your body brings up, it's okay. If you just allow it to just go through you like clouds passing in the sky. The sky is always there. The clouds just pass through it. Okay, we're going to work on inner thighs now. So we're going to put the soles of the feet together and the knees apart. People call this butterfly or Supta Baddha Konasana. Good. So you're going to notice that your knees are out wide, and you'll right away feel a stretch on the inner thigh. And this groin area absolutely locks up when we're under a stress. And the more severe the stress, the more that inner thigh area will lock up. And muscles that learn to lock and repeatedly lock, stay locked. So this self-care that you're doing, it's like taking care of someone or a baby or something that you love, your dog, and just saying, you know what, I'm going to give you a rest. I'm going to come scoop you up, and we're going to take a little rest from this. So that's what you're doing with your inner thighs. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to start to close the thighs. We'll go at a normal pace. We'll just do this about 5 times. So open and close your thighs, their full range of motion. And you'll feel that your feet need to maybe not exactly touch and separate a little bit, but do what you have to do to make them open and close on their own at a normal pace. We'll do 2 more. And this is similar to what we did before. Before, we stood up and we were purposely shaking our body. We were shaking the body. And I wanted you to get used to that sensation for this exercise. So now keep your legs open all the way. Let them relax. The feet are a little bit apart to make space. And now we're going to invoke a natural shaking of the body. We're going to invoke it, but we're not going to do it on purpose. We're just going to create the terrain for it to happen. So you will, so slowly that almost I couldn't see it, begin to bring your legs together. But it has to be ultra, ultra slow. And if you're doing it slow enough, you will begin to feel those muscles starting to quiver. And at some point in the range, you may not get it the first time, there'll be one point, one angle that tremors the most or shakes the most. And if you feel that, I want you to stop right there and let it tremor a little bit. And so because this may be the first time for you, we're just going to touch on that experience just for a moment. And now continue slowly bringing the legs until they're closed together. But don't rush that ending, just let it close slowly. Right? You might notice another shaking point, and that's fine. Nice and slow. And then as we open the legs, we're going to open them very, 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 very slowly. Same idea here. Noticing at what point do they start to shake? Stay present. Stay with this. Remember the animals that shake it off after, some kind of necessity to be alert. Maybe they heard a sound and they suddenly popped up their head and they looked around. They noticed that it was safe and they just shook it off. That's you. Try to stay in this moment. Let's not attach anything else to this moment. And you may not get this on the first try, but if you come back to practice over and again, you will start to get it. And this is a profoundly, profoundly transforming practice to cultivate this shaking, this natural release. So try it one more time where you're bringing your legs up slowly. Find that place and let it shake. I will be honest with you, the first several times I did these exercises are by David Percelli. The first time I did these exercises, I didn't find any shaking. I was really disconnected. And that's okay, there's no shame in that. It just is what it is after trauma. But then as I got used to understanding what it was about, I kind of relaxed. And I said, all right, I think I have what it takes to explore this. And sometimes my legs would, shake like I had Parkinson's, like really, really shake. And other days it's just a little shiver like I'm cold. Let me remind you, there's no performance necessary here. This is an exploration. It's your heart that's calling for attention. So you're opening up the legs really slowly. Very good. And now you can extend your legs straight, reaching your legs out in front of you, lengthening the legs, taking deep breaths in, and arriving in this final resting pose. If it's okay with you, you can let your eyes softly close. If not, the focus can just be relaxed, maybe just looking at the tip of your nose. Now I'm going to invite you to stay here a while. Some of us need a lot longer time in Shavasana. Some of us have more time to be in a long Shavasana. And some of us today don't have that much time left. So I'm going to leave it up to you. I will offer the suggestion. Stay a little while. Milk this. Let it last a little longer. And then when you're done, come back to sitting. You take your deep breaths. And you move on with your day, not losing that sense of peace. Thank you for joining me. I hope to see you again. Namaste.